Hello, I'm teacher Kelly. Welcome. I am an interviewer, recruiter, and mentor for a number of online ESL companies. If you are looking to get started with a company or add a second company, I am super happy to help. You can find my email address below, so please feel free to connect with me. And you can also find the full list of companies that I work with below as well. I also do one-to-one coaching, nice and personal, to help you with your teaching techniques, preparing for demos, or pretty much anything you need to be successful in the online ESL industry. So you can find that link below too. Now, one more thing, click subscribe to keep up to date with all of my latest content. I do try to put videos up somewhat regularly, and I'm always posting different things about different companies, so do feel free to click that subscribe button so you can keep up with my content. Now, today's video is all about Cambly Kids. If you haven't already seen, I have done a pros and cons video about Cambly Kids, so do feel free to browse my channel and catch up on that one. Because today's video is all about your Cambly Kids intro video. This video is super important for a couple of reasons. One, it can help you get hired on the platform, and two, it helps you get students once you are on the platform. So it really pays to take your time and make sure that your video is a good one. Don't rush it. So I'm going to talk you through a couple of things today. I'm going to give you a bit of a template of a layout, a few tips and tricks, and then lastly, I'm going to give you an example intro video. So let's dive in. Part one is a little template that I have, and I use this honestly for all of my intro videos, and it works really, really well. So I always start intro videos, first off, with my name. I find it's quite important for students to know who I am. And then I often include where I'm from. And then I go into a bit about my education. So this is where I talk about degree, TEFL, TESOL. It does not need to be super long. You just want to give a few little bits and pieces to let them know what your background is in terms of education. And similarly, I do the same thing with experience. So I give a couple of sentences, just giving an overview of teaching experience. From there, I do include just a little bit about my teaching style. So this can include things like being energetic, excellent use of TPR, a love of prompts, error correction, big focus on pronunciation, or any of those wonderful ESL teaching skills that you may have, or that I have in this case. It doesn't need to be your full resume of ESL teaching skills. Pick a few that are particularly unique to you or that you're really, really good at and include those in your video. I usually kind of add just a tidbit at the end of my videos as well to connect personally with my students. So this can be things like my hobbies, my interest. I may mention my family. I do have 2 kids, so I may include them in there because obviously that's good experience dealing with kids, having your own. But you know, something kind of personal to let the students know, hey, I'm a human being. And I always end my videos with a warm welcome and an invitation to class with me. So that's kind of my template. Name, where I'm from, education, experience, teaching style, personal tidbit, warm welcome. Easy. There you go. You've got your layout for your video already. So, a few tips for this video. First one, I cannot stress this enough. Be professional. Don't do your video in a dark room, and don't do it with a pile of laundry sitting behind you. No one wants to see that. And don't do it lying in bed. And don't do it on your phone. That's not a good look. Think about what you'd want to see in your teacher. If you don't want to see it, chances are students that may book you also don't want to see it. Okay, show your students where you plan to teach them. So try to do your intro video in your teaching space. Does it need to be this extravagant? Not necessarily, but it does need to be a quiet, clean, tidy area. I recommend trying to have a plain wall behind you or a decorated wall behind you. Definitely don't have anything distracting or crazy going on back there. Make sure your lighting is good. Students have to see you in order to effectively communicate with you because, as I'm sure you know, watching your mouth moving and things like that, and watching your facial features and any TPR you're doing is quite important for these young learners. Try to have your camera somewhat at eye level. No one wants to be looked down on or having someone look up at them either. Try to use headphones of some description so that your sound quality is not awful. And try to have, your recording equipment somewhere stable on a desk. No one wants to have class in an earthquake. So make sure it's nice and stable and still. And lastly, make sure you look presentable. Don't show up wearing a ratty-tatty AC/DC shirt. I do love AC/DC, but it's probably not great for teaching. Try to wear something simple, plain, appropriate for teaching, that does cover your shoulders, that is not too revealing. You do have to remember you are going to be working with students from around the world. So make sure you look presentable. That's pretty much it in terms of be professional. All of that stuff kind of goes under that category. Now the other ones are a bit shorter. So number 2, speak at an appropriate speed. You have to remember this video is going to be viewed by kids and parents, neither of which may have very high level English skills. So slow your speaking down so that it can be understood by even lower level students. Don't rush through trying to get your video done any quicker. Okay, number 3, have good energy. No one wants to have class with someone who has the personality of a wet sponge. So if you're sitting there going, "Hi, my name is," chances are you're not going to engage a 7-year-old for 30 minutes. So you need to show that you are capable of doing that. Does that mean bouncing off the walls? It can, but not necessarily. Smile, be warm and welcoming, move around a bit if you can. Don't just sit still and be robotic. You do want to show, like I said, that you can engage this person's child for 30 minutes. 30 minutes is a long time for a 7-year-old. Okay, and kind of flowing into this one, the 4th tip I have for you is to show off your teaching skills. This kind of goes into the moving around and whatnot that I mentioned. So feel free to use TPR in your video. If you have props, they can make a nice little appearance. Doesn't hurt. Essentially, this is your time to shine, right? Show off. This is what you're using to attract students. You want them to see what you have to offer. Make advantage of it. Okay, last one is to be creative, which kind of does flow into that. So let your personality shine. Don't copy my video or anyone else's. I already work for Cambly Kids, right? They already have me. They don't need another Kelly. They want to see why you are unique and what you can offer students. And the students want to see the same thing. They can already book with me, right? So you are special. Show that off and let your personality shine. Okay, so that's my tips. Be professional, speak at an appropriate level, have wonderful energy, show off your teaching skills, and be creative. Now, here's the fun part. I'm going to give you an example intro video. Check it out. Hello, my name is Teacher Kelly, and I am from the United States. I have bachelor's degrees in biology and biochemistry, and a master's degree in bioethics. I also have my 120-hour TEFL certification, and I have been teaching online ESL to children and adults for the past 3 years. And prior to that, I have volunteer experience teaching ESL in places like India, Russia, and the Dominican Republic. I have so much fun teaching. I love bringing lots of props to my lessons, and I'm always passionate and full of energy. I like to use lots of TPR to guide and instruct my students in class. A little bit about me. I love to travel, and I'm currently based in Australia. I can't wait to see you in my classroom very soon. Goodbye! Okay, so hopefully the tips and the example were helpful for you to know exactly what you need to do for your Cambly Kids intro video. So if you are thinking about applying to Cambly Kids and haven't already, you can find my referral link below. Click on that to start the process, and you can also reach out to me, as I mentioned earlier, via my email below for help and assistance through the process. And again, one more time, click subscribe. Bye guys.